Hello, Heat Changers. Good day. This is Marisol Oropesa. Again, we're back in our very nice spotlight interviews here live at our YouTube channel. And today I have a very special guest, Dr. Korbinian Kramer from Fraunhofer ISE from Germany. How are you, Korbinian? Hello.
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm very happy. I'm very glad that we meet again now digitally because actually we have met three times with this one. Two times in person. Once the first time it was in Bad Staffelstein at the Solarthermie Symposium in Germany, and the second time we met at the Intersolar Europe, and actually was last week, right?
True.
Good.
Yeah,
So that's amazing. It was time to meet again so often, like in the times before pandemic, right?
true. It's really nice to be back in some uh, personal exchange and possibilities to chat besides the official meeting points. And this is happening way more in personal meetings nowadays again.
Yes, I'm very happy to have you today as a guest in our interview. We do this, we invite people from the industry to show our community who are the men and women working in the industry, who are behind the products, who are behind companies, who are behind all the services that are provided, so that they meet some faces, they get to know people, and then we motivate others to be part of the industry or to approach the institutions, for instance, the one you work in, for support, for advice, for future projects, for cooperations, and so on. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. So let me start um, with the first question, and the first question would be: you are from Germany. You work in the south part of Germany at the Fraunhofer ISE. This is a very important institute for solar energy. How did you get there? And you have to explain it very briefly, right? Because we just want to make a short introduction and then we get to the other questions. So, how, what is your background? And if it was clear for you from the very beginning to go to solar thermal?
Well, okay. I try my very best to be brief on that. Well, I studied renewable engineering, and at that time, kind of a branch of mechanical engineering at most of the universities still. And then I was looking for an external diploma thesis. I spent some of my studies abroad. I was pretty clear that I would be outside the university for my thesis as well. And so I came across this job offer or this thesis offer at the Fraunhofer Institute here in Freiburg, and originally studied in Augsburg. And so I took my chance, came here, and basically through choosing that topic, choosing this location, I started working in solar thermal energy conversion with the thesis topic of a test facility for process heat solar thermal collectors, which was already a topic at that time, and test facilities were scarce. And so, yeah, and then I got hooked by the topic, and since then I'm working at the Fraunhofer ISE here in Freiburg.
Wow. So you knew from the very beginning you wanted to be in solar thermal. Like that was clear.
It was definitely a topic which caught my interest, and I mean, still today there's only limited possibilities to study solar thermal energy conversion. We have one professorship in Kassel actually to do that, and so yeah, I mean, from the beginning working in this field, I really saw the potential, and I liked also the people working in this field. They have always been good company, and so I decided to commit to the topic.
Yeah, you said you studied abroad. Where did you study? In which country?
Well, so my hosting university was in Augsburg, but I spent some time in Ghana, West Africa, uh,
Wow.
for half a year. And then I also spent some time in Denmark in Aarhus University, at Aarhus University. Yeah.
Wow. So Africa, a bit of experience, and another European, Scandinavian country. So completely different, right? One
That
from the
is true.
other.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think this is part of your the things that you like, because you are a very international colleague. You work in multiple projects which are all international, as far as I know. Most of them are research projects, or you are also doing the part of the testing and certification, and how does it work? How is the split?
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes it's really not so easy to separate those two topic lines from each other. As I'm working for a research institute, there's always research in my projects. But sometimes the research topic is to find a new methodology for testing, for characterization of an innovative technology or an innovative product. So even so, it's all called solar thermal energy conversion technologies. There is now and then new innovative ways to convert the energy, like with solar air heating collectors, with concentrating tract collectors, with PVT collectors recently, and many more, where you scratch the limits of the existing methodologies, and you can't describe to the fullest the performance, the functionality of such new products. And that is in the context of market entrance and comparability and competition and so on. A shortcoming, a burden, can be pretty complicated for technologies to enter market if they cannot describe their extra benefit very well to the market. And then it needs researchers and it needs
Mm-hmm.
projects to come up with a solution to overcome that barrier.
Sure. I mean, I think we know pretty much that solar heating and cooling technologies are a good way to decarbonize many parts of the economy. And if you help companies to find out exactly how they can make the most out of their products, I think that's part of the things that we should also learn to communicate, right? Because sometimes we are all convinced of what we can do in this industry, but not so many people get it. So
Yeah,
our work is to make all that visible and to make all that understandable, of course, always based on reliable data, reliable facts and figures, reliable certifications. And this is part of the work you do, right? To
that's
help
right.
the industry to be most trustworthy, I would say. Is it correct?
Yeah, I think that is the basic intention, is to keep it real. So to get the message in simple words, in digestible units out there, because in the end the market is generated by people's decision. And so if you want to say, like, a very well informed buying decision is based on some facts, so it's important that you contribute to that. And as I said, for some gaps in the innovation system, it's not so easy for a single company to close that gap. And then it's important that research is also taking care of that. But of course, coming back to your initial question, there is also in the institute a lot of research projects which are not methodology based, but they are product development and yeah, system development based. And then it's more clear that that kind of research what people have in mind when they talk about research projects.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, one of these days, I think it was in Bad Staffelstein, you told me that you were at a certain point teacher at a university, could be?
Yeah, that's true. As I said, I committed to work in this field, and I did pretty intense for many years. And so over the time, you gather a lot of experience. You meet a lot of people. You learn about different technology variants and so on. And at some point I thought like, well, often the topic of solar thermal energy conversion is underrepresented in the curriculum of technical studies. I myself remember that it was just a 2 hours seminar which was touching solar thermal just as one of, I don't know, 5 technologies or so at that time. And it was very superficial, I would say, how it was treated in the lectures. And yeah, so I thought like, well, it's a good idea. I have so many photos, I have so much material, I have some experience and understanding in the meanwhile. Why not try to bring that to the university? Here in Freiburg we have a big university. There were several international masters. It is also very interesting, to be honest, to teach on an international level, because the way solar thermal energy conversion is used varies a lot from country to country. And so it also taught me more things now and then, working together with the students on this topic. And so I did this for something like 15 years.
Wow.
Recently taking a break from teaching, but who knows?
Who knows? And what is perhaps what did you see in the students? Do you think that some of them are already working in the solar thermal industry? Do you think you convince them and you try and you got them to get this passion uh,
um,
to
I mean, I don't have any statistics about that, Marisol, but I, I now and then come across some faces. To be very honest, it's a little unfair for the teacher. You have like hundreds of students every semester in front of you, but they have only one professor in front of them. So often students say like, "Hey, I was a student of yours in that and that class," and I do not remember, obviously, but it is always feeling good. It's feeling nice, and so I would say there was definitely some impact by providing the information to the students, and some ended up in companies, or often they also have jobs in, like, on the municipality level, in energy consultancy kind of. Yeah, I think it's worth it
nice.
to tell them about the possibility of solar thermal energy conversion. And then often they also go back, of course, to their home countries, and then I lose a little bit track, but um, I guess some percentage is working in the field. Yeah.
That's good to know also that there is, for instance, this option in Germany to study a master's degree which covers partially, or I don't know, fully solar thermal topics.
Yeah.
Because I think I have interviewed also some people from Mexico, and they were always saying when I started studying, I didn't have really the focus on solar thermal. It was energy or renewable energy in general, but like very few topics were specific. So I
Yeah.
guess that's not the only the only thing that I mean. It doesn't only happen in Mexico, but now
No.
we have this information from you that this is an international master program. I guess it's in English, and
Of
people
course.
from other
Yes.
countries could join. Right? That's nice. Good.
That's true, and also let me add one more thing. There is also offers now which are completely online. So there is, because to study abroad means also some funding, and often students come with a grant, but some may have no access to that, and so it's very important to offer education on a easy access level. And so some years ago, we decided to set up a master, or it's not a master course. It's like you get credits and you can include it in some international masters, but it's just a part of it. And it's called Understanding Solar Thermal Energy Conversion, USTEC. And it's just online, so you don't have to travel for it. And yeah, so
That's a
the
good tip.
information is out there.
That's a good tip. So you are based in Freiburg,
Most.
and mostly, and I've heard, well, I was living close to, well, I was many years in the south of Germany, and I saw multiple roofs with solar, either PV or thermal. And I remember that many people were saying, okay, but the real solar valley is Freiburg. Is it true? Is it still true?
I think Freiburg does a lot in making things happen, and often does it, let's say, more consistent or a little earlier than other municipalities would maybe do it. But also, I must say that the dynamics renewable energy use um, could pick up in the recent years also brought a lot of like bioenergiedörfer or other concepts into the focus. And so there is for sure highlights around here where you can study in demo real life cases, real labore. You can see things which we will see in future, I guess, in other urban contexts as well. And sometimes, yeah, it's true. Freiburg is a front runner on those topics, and of course we try from the institute side and the city side and the ESCO side to set up those projects and make those things happen in a real world context. So it still has to
Yes.
fulfill the economics and so on. Yeah.
Nice, good. I mean, I see your background picture that I mentioned before. So this is pretty much the example. No, your life is full of solar thermal, like in the praxis, in your job, in the city you live in, and wherever you go. I mean, you are really there with where the technology are, right? Whenever you go to do an inspection or to talk to a partner, it's always about solar thermal. Am I correct?
Um, yes, I mean that's my main focus, and it's not limited to it. I mean, solar thermal often is in the mix with other technologies to provide the full solution. May it be heat pumps, may it be district networks, may it be photovoltaics. Again, coming back to the combination in PVT, but also. There is, let's say, topics of production, of generating local jobs, and so on, where yeah, solar thermal is an important topic and can play a role. And it's then not so technical, but yes, you're right. It's always on my mind.
It's always on your mind and on your side. You're seeing it all the time. So we also collaborate in this other network, which is called the Global Solar Certification Network, whereas we
Mm-hmm.
always have, or from time to time, we have online meetings. So you're also quite involved in this um, definition of methodologies, as far as I remember, right? How are all these different types of collector uh, technologies certified, well, first I guess tested and then certified, and how can they be traded internationally? That's the main focus of this network, and you play a very important role there, right?
Well, I leave it to others to judge on that, but it is, let's put it that way. If there is so many things going on all the time that if you don't put a lot of effort in keeping things clean and strategically orientated and in a concept, then the enthalpy will just rise. So and then it will be pretty chaotic. So it is itself a job to overlook the different certification schemes, the different products, the different legislations and support schemes, and to streamline them so that there is a healthy market development. It's not happening by itself.
Yeah, you're right. And I think it's very good that someone is taking care of all this structure and all that, because the market is growing now. Of course, we would like it to grow much faster, but still it's growing in different parts of the world. And if we have the good basis, then it could just be beneficial for anyone working in this industry, and especially for the companies who are manufacturing these products and sell them abroad, so that it's easy for them to enter new markets. So
Yeah.
I will invite our audience to have a look at that group. So tell me, because in the heat changers we talk about a lot of emotions, about our passion for solar thermal. So if you recall some of the years before, what would be one of the experiences that you remember? Oh my God, that was so nice. Either a project, a visit, and a new contract, or just something that you say, wow, that's really important. That's really good. And I really feel proud of it. I guess you have many, many, many recall, many memories. Pick one, tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, I just pick some which come to mind, and maybe two. The one is for sure the experience I had also with. You mentioned before that I sometimes visit companies for quality assurance inspections, and visiting those companies also around the globe, and especially in China back that day, um, was very impressive to me. The dimension of purely solar thermal companies, um, compared to that it is just one of many products for many companies in Europe, and then on a rather small scale of their product portfolio. And of course, we have some solar thermal only production companies here too. But the magnitude of that in China was very impressive to me. Really big companies producing solar thermal and distributing it in the national market, but also international. So I found that very, let's say, surprising in the first moment. I was young and new to the branch, didn't know so much about the market distribution, and felt like, wow, this is way bigger than you would think if you're in Germany, or if you're new to the branch. So I think that was giving me a drive for several years, even so maybe some countries, some markets declined, and people were not seeing the full potential of solar thermal anymore, or there was critical voices. Knowing that there is a lot of volume behind this topic, and that was for sure an important moment.
Good.
And
And the second?
yeah, and the second is maybe from also the time I studied in Ghana, when I built my first solar thermal collector, and it was kind of a side project. I was actually there to build a biogas digester, and but then I saw that they had to clean for 900 students after 3 times serving meals in the canteen on campus the dishes, and they did this with cold water. And they have a lot of solar resources in Ghana too, and so I said, like, hey, why not warm up the water at least, so you're more efficient with that. Water is a scarce good there. And then we really went with this old lorry thing to the market in Accra, the capital, and tried to buy the different materials and parts to build our own solar thermal collector. And we had to be pretty creative in finding something to build it. But then we did. And then I remember when, so it was, the university's director got to know about it, and then said, like, he wants to see what we did, this crazy thing. And then we stood there on the roof of the canteen, and first time was just a thermosyphon construction, took down the water hose, and then there was steaming hot water coming out of this very rudimental built collector. And and seeing the surprise, but also the joy in the eyes of the people that they have now hot water, and yeah, being proud also to have that, to have built that. That was also a very nice moment where I thought like, okay, I mean, this is how simple it is. Of course, it's in technical circumstances is a little bit more complex, but yeah, that is
Congratulations.
it is a very convenient concept. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that is a common thing with most of the people that I have interviewed, that they have at a certain point built a collector, like usually during part of their studies, and I think that's very important, because as part of the industry, you can say I actually could do one with my bare hands, no, with your creativity, and later on you go to the industrialized side of the industry, and then you see the let's say the mass production, industrialized production of such technologies, but that in principle is something rather simple, that
it's still
rather
hot
could.
water or steam. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
very nice, and really that's amazing. And I mean, I'm not really fond of doing yourself solar thermal, but it's important to know that there is a technology that's simple, and then now it's available in the mass market with a lot of products being of a very high quality, which is part of the work you do, that to verify and advance the technology, right?
of course, that's a different league, as you said, industrialized production. Of course, the materials and also the details which are in the designs are have massive improved from the time of the do-it-yourself collectors. And we nowadays speak about products which have a lifetime of 25 years plus, which is for an outdoor exposed product in operation with pressure and heat, something which is really pretty impressive, and the efficiency is high, and so on. So solar thermal doesn't have to hide with other technologies, and yeah, there has been a lot of lessons learned for sure, but the status quo is really matured and on a very good level. And there's always new materials, there's always material reductions, there's always
Mm.
some new ideas to make things even better.
Yes. And my last question, because the 30 minutes go really fast. So, what is next in your future? What are a couple of things that you still want to do, or some dreams that you have, of course, related to solar thermal? Wishes, dreams,
Wishes.
projects, ideas, whatever you want to share about the future that you
Yeah, yeah.
visualize.
Um, well, I think I would love to see that the potential this technology has can be explored uh, to the fullest, or at least more than it is right now. I think there's not so much a technical reason for the underdevelopment of solar thermal in several markets. It is other reasons, a mix of other reasons, and I hope to contribute to overcome those, and I hope that the technology will find its market share, and contribute to save CO2 in the heating market. Um, it's a very important contribution to my understanding, and yeah, that would be wonderful to see, and
To
that is
really exploit the sun, right?
to really exploit the sun, and yeah, and to use all the available possibilities for that, and yeah, so I think that is the starting point, and if those markets grow and are exploited well, then a lot of side effects I wish for, like having more funding in the topic and so on, will come as a second order consequence.
For sure. Thank you very much, Korbinian. It's been a pleasure talking to you so briefly. I know we could talk hours. Thank you for letting us know a little bit about you, your past, your present, and your future. So, looking forward to the next meeting. And the latest would be next year at the Solar Thermal Symposium and Bad Staffelstein, where you are going to also playing an important role in this time, as far as I remember. So let's continue working for more solar thermal. And also, thank you very much for all the work you do for the industry, for your passion, for your commitment, and wish you good luck on all your projects, current and future ones. If there is a message to what you want to leave to our audience, this is your chance.
Well, thank you, likewise, for having me again. And yeah, the future is solar.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone. The video, the recordings are going to be available as of now in our YouTube channel. So feel free to have a look at it. Oh, look, we have a comment. I can attest that I didn't know much about solar thermal systems till 1 year ago. It's been mostly PV, multi-junction cells related. Now I see more potential in CSR, concentrated solar R. Am I correct? What is CSR? Um, First, PCMs. Okay, these are perhaps your topics,
It's
Korbinian.
specific words. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Too specific. From John Matthew. Thank you very much for this comment. And in fact, this is what we want to make solar thermal more visible, more attractive, more interesting for colleagues, friends. So everyone who should know that the solar can deliver not only electricity but also a lot of heat and clean heat. The
Yeah,
future is exciting indeed.
it is. It is, and everybody's welcome in it.
Yes. So thank you very much. See you soon. Have a great afternoon, and thank you to everyone. You can watch this video, Corbinian. You can feel free to share it. I hope that many people watch it afterwards, and we will have more interviews soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.